Alrighty, so we have got through the core, we transitioned, we went through the knockouts. We know that Mrs. Jones, Miss Betty, is healthy enough that we can do business with her. So now you're transitioning into what is called our Final Wishes Guide. But that transition, it actually has a couple of questions that we ask and really set the tone to what's about to happen. So these next few questions that we're teaching here, they're what we call the emotional questions. Okay, so excuse me. So what we do there when transitioning to that Final Wishes Guide, I let them know. I say, hey, listen, we're going to go through some information and we're going to make sure that we can help you. But before we go through that information, Miss Betty, I'm going to ask you a couple really important questions. Okay, and guys, I'll lower my tone and I'll lean in, because that's going to have her lean in and really listen. And I ask this question with all sincerity. I'll say, Miss Betty, I want to know what it is that was on your heart when this card was filled out and mailed back to us. And I wait for her answer. Okay, it might be, I don't want to leave a burden on my children. There's a lot of answers you could get there. But the more sincere you are when you ask it, the more sincere of an answer you're going to receive. It's important. So after she answers that question, I'll hit her with the second question. And I'll say, okay, Miss Betty, out of all the loved ones that you've lost in your life, which one was hardest on you? Which one hurt the most? And I'll let her talk about that, okay? And then the third emotional question that I ask after that one is, Miss Betty, have you ever had to be the person to sit down across from the funeral director and handle a loved one's burial? Okay, so those are the three emotional questions you asked. Now here's what's important. Out of those three questions, at least one of them, you're gonna get a good response. And when you get that response, you need to lengthen that topic. So if you ask what was on her heart and she says, I don't want my children to be left with the burden like my niece and nephew were when my sister died 3 years ago, you need to hunker down and lean in and show some real empathy and say, wow, what happened? And let her run you through that whole story, guys, because that's bringing up the realness and the emotion of what's happening right now. And that's creating a sense of urgency is why she needs to take care of this today.